Why do we need the church? What is the church to us more than anything? So we'll start out in Hebrews 10, verses 23 through 25. It says, let us hold on to washed and pure water. Or sorry, I think I'm about time for needing some glasses because I can't hardly see anymore.
Well, there might be some up here.
Yeah, I bet that Danny probably has some up here, doesn't he? It says, let us hold on to the confession of our hope without wavering, since he who promised is faithful. And let us consider one another in order to provoke love and good works, not neglecting to gather together as some are in habit of doing, but encouraging each other, and all the more as you see the day approaching. A lot of times we have people that have been in churches, they've been hurt by church. And so when they've been hurt by church, what do? They walk away from it. And they're like, I'm never going back to that church. Everybody there is a hypocrite. Everybody acts the same way, does the same thing, and they act as bad as I do. So why would I need to go to church? We associate church with the church building. To me, church is not a building. It's our hearts. It's who we are. We are the church. We are to go out and show the world the love of God. If we are mad all the time, or just, kind of keep our heads down, we don't talk to nobody, we don't show them love, and even just saying hi, sometimes just a smile and a hi to somebody will brighten their day. That's what God's called us to do. He's called us to get out, be the church in the communities. Graceville, I love the Graceville area. Like I said, I'm not originally from here. I'm Anadarko, so I'm not far from here, but I wasn't ever over in the Graceville area. I always stayed in Anadarko. I was kind of Anadarko, Surreal, Apache area. It's kind of where I really grew up. A lot of my friends were at. But coming here, it's a different community. People rally together here. When there's a problem, when somebody needs something, they rally together. That's what we're to do as a church. He has called us to come together. When we come to the church building, we come to the church house here, it isn't to say we're better than anybody else, or to say that, oh, look at how good I am. It's to come together with like believers, with like-minded people, to encourage each other to go out into the community and do God's work. I think a lot of times we take this church building as, oh, the only way I'm a Christian is if I come to church. No, that's not it. We can have church just sitting out there at the convenience store. I've had church multiple times sitting around a bonfire. The building here is for like-minded members, is what I believe it's for. No, we want everybody to come in, not just a Christian, not just a believer. This isn't just for us to come to. We still want everybody to come here. But this is a place to come to be encouraged. To, hey, I've had a bad week. I've had a long week. I need help. Man, this is a place to come. Also need to look at it and say, hey, I need to be that out everywhere else that I'm at. I don't need to be it just on a Sunday or just on a Wednesday. It's a 24-hour, 7-day a week. We have to be the church. We have to bring people in. We have to meet with each other. We have to be able to be willing to go to somebody. If somebody is unable to make it to church, or somebody is hurting, what do? We go to them. If they're in the hospital, they're having surgery, or somebody has lost a friend, a family, what do? We go to them. That's the church. That's who we are to be for everybody. God has called us to go out and be the church. He didn't say, go sit in a building, listen to one preacher, and walk out and don't think anything else about it till Wednesday or till Sunday. No, it's have that in your mind. Be in the Word. Be in, like I talked Sunday, be focused on Him. Be in constant contact with Him. Because when we're in constant contact, we want everybody else to be in that contact with Him too. Because we want to go out and we show that love, because we've learned, we've read about, it's like when you learn something new, or you get something, like say you get a brand new shiny pickup. What's the first thing you want to do? You want to go show everybody, right? When we're reading about God, that's exactly how He should be to us. Man, God's in my heart. I want to go show everybody who He is. I want to show the love that He has for all of us. But we have to be willing to step out and do that. It's hard sometimes. It's nerve-wracking sometimes. It's hard to know, where do I go? Where do I not go? but be in that contact with him, guess what? He'll tell you. He'll show you. And sometimes it's not a big, loud word. It's not a big billboard, because I wish it was, to be so much easier for me. So I know, God, what do you want me to speak on? Oh. And I just sit there and I sit there. If he just posted on a billboard when I'm driving to work, it's like, this is it, man. It'd be so much easier. Because when you start really trying to study, man, the devil gets at you. He comes after you. He comes after you. He's going to get every little thing he knows that just gets in your mind, irritates you. He's going to come after you. That's what the community is for. When we know somebody's having those hard times, we know somebody's got something big coming, let's go pray for them. Let's reach out to them instead of them waiting for them to reach out to us. Let's reach out to them. Let's be who the church is. Let's be who God didn't wait for everybody to come to him. Sometimes he walked to them. You know, he knew to go sit there at that well when the woman was going to be there, because he knew what time she was going to be there. Yes, he waited for her to get there, but he knew, I'm going there because I know what time she's going to be there, so I'm going to be waiting on her. Instead of her waiting on me, I'm going to wait on him, on her. That's what we're supposed to do. Let's go to them. Let's go to who's hurting, who's needed. If there's meals needed, if there's prayer needed, if there's anything that we have the ability, let's go out and let's be the church and do it for people. That takes me kind of into Galatians 6, verses 1 and 2. If someone is overtaken in any wrongdoing, you who are spiritual, restore such a person with a gentle spirit, watching out for ourselves, so that you also won't be tempted. Carry one another's burdens. In this way, you will fulfill the law of Christ. Man, when somebody's hurting, when somebody's been through just the hardest times, and we're to be there for them. It's hard sometimes because we think, well, I don't know what they're going through, or how can I help them? I've never been that way, or we're not to think, well, what they're doing is worse than what I'm doing. No, it's just a different sin. Sins are sins, right? He never said that, oh, if you did this, you're worse than anybody else. No, a sin is a sin. But when somebody's hurting, instead of saying, I don't want to deal with you because you're dramatic or you're just too much, there's always something, it's always this, always that. We're going to help them. Let's build them up. Let's quit tearing each other down. Let's quit tearing everybody down, and let's build each other up. Let's carry each other's burden. Let's help. Let's like it says, pick up our cross daily. Well, guess what? Let's go help pick somebody else up too. You know, we know, hey, this cross can be heavy, but guess what? I'm going to go help somebody else too. Because that's what God did. That's what Jesus did the whole time he was here. He knew the ending. He knew what was happening, but what did he do? He still went through it. He still went and did exactly what God sent him here to do. He carried our burdens. He went to the cross. He died. He shed his blood to save us. He went down. He defeated hell. He defeated the grave. Come back 3 days later for us. I mean, why can't we get out and do the same thing? Yeah, we can't die and be rose again. But man, we can go out and we can fight for each other. We can go fight for the hurting. We can fight against the devil whenever he's fighting against somebody else. Because, you know, sometimes we don't know the battles that everybody else is going through. But guess what? They need help. I'm real bad about keeping everything inside. Not telling you that I'm going through something, and my wife will tell you until I just blow up one day. She's a lot different. She wants to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, no, I'm going to deal with it myself. God didn't call us to deal with it ourselves. Why is the church here? To help. We're here to carry each other's burdens. We're here to be there for each other. We're here to comfort. We're here to help. We're here to laugh. We're here to have fun. Enjoy this time. God didn't want us to be miserable sitting here. He wants us to have fun. But he also never said that it's going to be easy. He never said that the trials I'm going to take you through are going to be easy. But he's already won them. He's already won every battle out there. But like I said, they said a battle is a battle you have to fight. But we already know the outcome. We have to be willing to walk through it. I think about storms a lot of times, and I've read deals, and you've probably all read it too before, that you'll see cattle, whenever storms come, they curl up in a corner, and they stand there huddled together, and they wait for the storm to come across them. Wait for that storm to like, oh, we're just gonna stand here, we're gonna sit there. A buffalo runs towards the storm. He doesn't run away from it. He doesn't run alongside it. He runs to the storm, because he knows if I run to that storm and I keep running through it, I'm gonna get through it quicker. The storms we're running through, run to God with them. Because guess what? If you run to Him, that storm's not gonna last near as long. But we sit there and we try to huddle and do it ourselves and be like, nobody, I don't need no help. I've got to figure this out myself. Guess what? We're gonna sit there. That storm's just gonna sit there and circle over the top of us. Be like that buffalo that runs to that storm. Because we know on the other side of that storm, there's calm. Go through that storm. Guess who's sitting on the other side? God's sitting there waiting, because He's like, I've already won this battle. Just come through it. Don't be scared of it. Be ready for it. It's hard to be ready for a battle. But how do you get ready for a battle? You put on your armor. You make sure your guns are ready, clean. You got the ammo. You got all that. Here's our gun and our ammo. Right here. This is what we got to have. This is our armor. He says, put on the full armor of God. Because when we have the knowledge and the understanding of what this Bible is saying, whenever we get in contact and we have that personal relationship with God, and then battles, we know they're coming, but we're ready for them. If you don't know how to fight a battle, what do? You run from it most of the time. But if you know how to fight a battle, I'm going after it, because I know how to conquer this. I know how to win it. I know how to win battles because I get in this Word. I get in my prayer life. I get around my church family, my like-minded believers, and we fight for each other. Because sometimes you can't fight the battle on your own. You need other help. I mean, when we go to war, is there only one person going to war? No. You have your full army that goes into war. That's what the church is. That's our army. That's our battle buddies. That's who's there for us. And it's time to suit up and say, hey, let's go to war, because there's a war going on. There's a war between good and evil right now going on, and we got to be ready to fight it. And if we're just going to sit back, to me, that's a lukewarm Christian. He said you can't be on both sides of the fence. You're either for Him or you're not. And it's time to be for Him. It's time to fight that battle. It's time to put on that armor. And it's time to walk into that battle and say, we will not go quiet. I'm ready to go fight this fight, because I know the God that went before me has already won that battle. Now I just got to walk through it. Not easy. It doesn't mean it's not scary. But we've got to walk through that battle. We got to be ready to fight. We got to be ready to conquer that. And that's kind of carrying each other's burdens. That's kind of taking a pain from somebody else and saying, just because another church treated you that way doesn't mean that's how every Christian is in this world. You may not believe it. You may not trust me, but guess what? I'm going to love you, and I'm going to show you love. I'm going to show you who God is. Because God is not that person that deserts you. God is not that person that leaves you behind. God is not that person that is saying, yep, oh, you dress like that? Nope, you can't come to my church. If you're dirty, you're nasty, you're whatever, hey, come. Because we're here. I'm not judging you on your outward appearance. It's your heart. Your heart is where everything runs through. We have to be willing to show the love, the heart, the compassion. My wife talked to me today about compassion. She said, you're not the most compassionate person out there. I want to say, well, I'm a man. That's not who I am. And she just stopped me in my tracks and says, Jesus was. And I've told her multiple times here lately, I said, quit being so logical about everything. I don't want correct answers. I said, but it stopped me in my tracks, and I hadn't even told this, but it has stopped me in my tracks now, because I'm like, Jesus was a man, wasn't he? Huh. He had the most compassion as anybody ever had. He loved you no matter what. We are more of a, I'll love you if you love me. Jesus said, I love you whether you love me or not. I'm going to have mercy on you whether you want it or not. I'm not going to force you to come to me. I'm not going to force you to love me. I'm not going to force you to want to come be my child. But guess what? I'm waiting for you to come. I want you to be there. God is a very giving God. He's a very just God, I believe. I believe that he wants everybody to be in heaven. It is not his goal to have, all right, I put 50 people on earth to come to heaven and 50 people to go to hell. No, he wants us all to come. But we get to make that decision. He's not going to force us because he's like, I love you. But it's your choice if you want to love me. I'm going to give you grace whether you want it or not. Forgiveness, no matter how many times you mess up. And I am so thankful for that because I have messed up a lot. I will continue to mess up. But my goal is to try to be better every day. To be more like him every day. To trust like he does. To have mercy like he does. To have grace like he does. And that's hard when somebody's hurt you. He had people hurt him every day. He still loved them. He still had grace for them. Now, Jesus flipped tables too. I think he got tired of it some days. But he still loved you. He flipped tables because he loved you so much. I think he got upset because he loved you so much. Because he's like, just open your eyes. Why are you treating people like this? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you acting the way you're acting? Just open your eyes. I give you everything you need to understand how to live this life. But you want to go try to do it on your own. I gave you instructions. This Bible isn't a something that was just in the past that happened. This is a never-ending Bible. There's still miracles that happen today. People think, well, miracles only happened back then. No, miracles happen every day. You may not see like the. I'm a big Brandon Lake fan. I don't know if anybody likes Brandon Lake here, but he has one that says, dry bones rattle. It's basically bones come alive. They got flesh. They come alive. We may not see those miracles today, but guess what? There's a lot of miracles going on in this world. We have to be willing to open our eyes to see them sometimes. And it's hard to see. And it's little miracles. It's somebody waking up in the morning that doesn't think that they're going to wake up. It's somebody that's saying, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this next trial. But guess what? They make it through it. And they start going, I couldn't have done that on my own. Life's too hard. How can I make it through life? If life was easy and we never had any trials or we had any problems come up that we couldn't handle ourselves, we would never believe in God. Because we'd think, oh, I can walk right through that one. I don't need nobody. But there's the trials of those times that you come through and you're like, how did I get through that? Because there is no possible physical way I could have done that myself. That's all God. We have to be willing to look at it. And I'm going to close. I know it's not. I didn't take very long tonight, but there's Proverbs 27:17. It talks about iron sharpens iron, and one person sharpens another. That's encouragement. There's a movie that I love. I like movies, and we've watched a lot of Christian movies here lately. It's called The Forge. I don't know if anybody's watched that one or not. Amazing, amazing movie. It comes along right after War Room. So there's a War Room, and then there's The Forge. Amazing, amazing movies. They really open your eyes to certain things. War Room was talking about an older lady that was, I believe, selling her house, and she had this real estate agent. She comes in and she's like, "What's that room?" It was a closet. She said, "That's my war room." She said, "That's where I go to war at." And she's like, "What do you mean?" And there's like verses and there's prayers and there's all sorts of. She said, "I spent a lot of time on my knees right here in this room." She said, "This is my war room. This is where I go to war for people. This is where I go in my prayer closet. This is where I throw everything to God. I show him and I tell him everything, my needs, my wants, my helps, the people that I need help with." She said, "This is where I go to war at." Man, that's something strong right there, that she has a room picked out that she cleared out. Should have been her closet, but that is the place that she goes. The carpet was wore out from her being on her knees, talking with God. Then that goes in from that movie goes into called The Forge. It's about a kid that his dad had left him and his mom, all this stuff, and he was a 19-year-old kid, kind of a punk. Nobody could tell him anything. He goes in for a job interview for this big company, and the owner walks in about the time he goes in and looking for the job. And he's like, "Can I help you?" He's like, "Man, I'm just trying to find a job." "Okay, what are you looking for?" "I don't know, just a punk." And he's like, He's like, "Hey, who are you?" He says, "Well, I'm the owner of the company." He went, "Nope." He took the application, he threw it back on, and he started to walk off. The guy says, "Where are you going?" He said, "Well, ain't no reason for me to try now." He went, "Hold up. Wait a minute. It's not what I'm doing. I'm not telling you to leave." He said, "Come to lunch with me." So he went to lunch with him. He talked about, he said, "What do you want to be in 5 years? Who's the person you want to be?" All this stuff. A little while later, the kid comes back and says, "Well, I want to be successful. I want people, when I walk down the street, say, man, that's a good man." So he said, "Okay, I'll hire you as a part-time." He said, "But I want you twice a week. I want you to come in early and meet with me for an hour twice a week." He says, "For some mentoring." And he's like, "Okay." And so he goes in and he begins, and his mom was a Christian. She knew God. His family was, but he just like, he wants to find me. He can find me right where I'm at. And this gentleman, the owner of the company, says, "I just want to mentor you." So he comes in, and next thing you know, he starts asking, like, "Why are you doing this? What's this?" He's like, "Well, to be a man, you need to stand up when somebody approaches you. Walk up, shake their hand, look them in the eye. Your responsibilities. If you say you're going to be there, you be there. If you say you're going to do it, you do it." He's like, okay, he's learned all this. And the next thing you know, he's like, "Well, hey, I want you to come to church with me. We're doing a community drive on a Saturday." He said, "Come help us." He's like, "You do that?" He said, "Oh, yeah. This guy's a multi-millionaire, a big business owner." He said, "Yeah, I do it once a month, every Saturday. Me and my wife show up." So they go do it. Next thing you know, he's like, "Hey, let's come eat dinner with us." He goes to their house. I'm kind of telling you the whole story for a minute. But he goes to the house, and he goes to his house. He's like, okay, he's on the phone. The kid's in there with the man. "Oh, that's your son?" He said, "Yeah." He went, "I didn't know you had a son." He said, "Well, he died at 17 from a car wreck. A drunk hit him in the passenger side and killed him." And she's like, "That about ruined our marriage. My husband blamed me. He blamed everybody. He blamed everything." He said, "A man from church reached out to him and says, I want to mentor you. I want to talk to you. I want to show you that this isn't the life you need." Well, it goes a little bit further down the movie, and this kid had started going to church. He accepted Jesus Christ. He said, "I want to know everything." So, man, this business owner starts just, really mentoring him. He said, "Well, I want you to come somewhere with me." So he comes to dinner with him one night. And there's this group of people there, group of men with younger kids and stuff. He said, "This is the Forge." And I'm like, I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, "Oh man, okay, that's really cool. This is the Forge." And he said, "It's where we sharpen each other. It's where we go to fight. We go on the fire with each other." And it's these gentlemen that the business owner, had mentored. Well, then they took that and they begin to mentor somebody else. Well, then kids begin to mentor somebody else. And this group over the last 7, 8, 9 years had just started to grow and grow and grow. And once a month they met for dinner. One part of the movie, he said, the kid, they'd done this deal with the sword. And he's holding the sword. He said, "All right, hold that sword out there." So he's holding the sword, this big old heavy steel sword. And he said there, boy, after the way he's shaking, he said, "That's getting heavy, isn't it?" He said, "Yeah." He says, "When we try to hold everything on our own, we get tired. But when we have a community together and these men come up and they put one finger underneath that sword, the hand quit shaking." He's like, it's community. It's us coming together and being there for each other. That's who we are. That's how we are. Iron sharpens iron. We are there to help each other, to show each other where we're wrong, to guide somebody new. It's not just to sit here and do nothing. It's not to sit here and be like, I got all this information, but I'm not going to tell nobody about it. I had a guy who worked with me, not talking bad about, I love the man, he's great, a good friend of mine. We called him a weasel. I know it's weird, but he was a weasel because he'd watch you do something wrong, he'd laugh about it, he'd come behind you, he'd fix it. Instead of showing you how to fix it. Finally, I'd had enough of it one time. All right, it's enough of that. He said, I'm just trying to teach you. I said, well, that's not teaching me. You're making fun of me. You're not showing me how to fix something. You're not showing me how to do something correctly. He realized that. He started doing it. He's like, okay, I understand. He said, I was just trying to play and have fun with you. I'm like, well, that's not fun. But whenever he decided to go, okay, I was a 19-year-old kid, just started Western Farmers. I'd never really had another job before in my life. I didn't know how to completely use a chainsaw. I'd use chainsaws and stuff, but I was cutting trees in bar ditches and in canyons, and I was using tractors to cut trees with. All this I'd never done before. A lot of the mechanic work, I'd never done much mechanic work. My dad was a carpenter. He was a great carpenter, but I didn't know mechanic work. Then he began to show me how to do it. And I moved positions, and another guy did the same thing. Well, I was that punk kid over here going, well, we can do it this way. And Phil Kirk, y'all all may know Phil Kirk. Okay, that's probably my favorite people in the world. I worked with Phil for 5 years side by side. But he told me one time, he said, if you see something that you think will work, let's do it. He said, we'll try it. So one day we're fixing to climb a radio tower, and I'm like, I think we can do this. So he went, no. I'm like, yeah, we can. He said, no. And I got mad. I was that punk kid saying, well, I can't. Well, you just don't want to do it because I want to do it. He said, fine, do it. And I said, what? I'm like, whoa, hold up. Why are you telling me no? He said, because I've tried it before and it doesn't work. He said, I'm not going to tell you something. I'm not going to tell you no if I've never tried it. That's iron sharpening iron. We correct you before you ever get into the mistake. We guide you before you ever make that bad mistake. I'm not going to say we're not going to make some, because we're all going to make mistakes. But we're here to help each other. We're here to push each other further forward in God's word, in God's actions. We're to love like Him. We're to be like Him. We're not always going to be that, because we fail, because we're human. We have flesh that deters us sometimes, and we don't want it to, but it does. But our job as the church is to try to walk straight, try to guide people into the directions that they need to go. We're here to try to help them become more like Jesus. We'll never become Jesus, but He wants us to try to live like Him. That's with love. That's with compassion. That's with heart. That's with drive. That's with determination. That's with just unresilient, just grit, I think, sometimes. Because sometimes that's what it takes. Because I don't want to do this, even though I know it's right, because it's so hard sometimes. But God wants us to do that. Keep pushing. He wants us to keep going, keep trying, keep fighting. David in the Bible is probably my favorite Bible stories. I love David. In fact, we went and seen David this year at the Branson. Amazing show. But he had to run for his life from King Saul. For how long? I don't remember how long it was, but for a while. He could have killed him multiple times, but God didn't tell him to. He's like, no. He's like, I'm not doing that. He never said it was going to be easy. He never said our life was just going to be, I always say, butterflies and daisies out there. It's going to be hard. But He said it's going to be worth it. So let's go out and be the church. Let's be who God's called us to be. Let's provide for our communities. Let's show our communities who God is. Because once we go out into our communities and we show them who God is, guess what? They begin to go out into other communities. Just like the Forge. They begin to build. And they begin to mentor. They begin to do better and better. So my prayer today is that we will have the heart of what Jesus has. The mercy, the grace, the love, the compassion. Because that's what this world needs. There's plenty of hate in this world. We don't need no more of it. Let's go out and let's show the world.